Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Ingrid and today I would like to share with you one of the little practices that I do through art to keep myself in a mindfulness state. Usually when I'm painting, I can get very perfectionism takes place and I can be very meticulous for some of the details. So sometimes I find myself judging my own work, judging myself and the things that I'm doing. So when I'm going through processes like that, I'd like to step back a little and just go back to basics. And I've used different techniques to do this and to go back to a mindfulness state where I am focused on what I'm doing, but I'm not judging what I'm doing. I'm not judging if I'm doing things right or wrong. One of them, it's very interesting one that it's called Zentangle. What the heck is a Zentangle, right? Well, the Zentangle method was developed by Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas. Rick was a former monk and Maria Thomas was an artist. And they combined their knowledge into creating the Zentangle method. So what they had in mind when doing this, it was creating an accessible, non-intimidating art form that would promote relaxation, focus, and mindfulness. Zen refers to the meditative aspect of this method, while tangle represents the intricate patterns that you create while practicing it. For the purpose of this practice, you will only need a white piece of paper. So here I have just normal paper. You can have even the ones that you use to print on your printer or anything like that. And then I have this type of pen here called pigment liner. So as you can see, hopefully, they have different sizes. For this activity, I'm just gonna keep it as simple as possible, and for that I'm gonna do small squares. So this is why I'm gonna be using a 0.3, which is thinner than the other ones. If you were to do a bigger space and you would like to cover a bigger space, in that case I would suggest 0.5 or over because they are thicker to draw with. If you don't have one of this pigment liner pen at home, do not worry. You can use another pen in the meantime or whatever you have available. This is just to try to create a mindfulness practice. So let's jump straight into it. As you can see in the page, we have 4 squares. Each one of the squares is a 6 by 6 centimeters square. This means that they are pretty much a medium-sized square for this type of technique. So I've decided, after saying before that I was gonna use a 0.3 millimeter tip pen, I've decided to use a 0.5, which is a little bit thicker than what I've mentioned. So in each one of the squares, we're gonna be drawing 4 different patterns. In the first one that you can see now, it's one that I call it crooked square. So the idea is that you start drawing crooked squares one over the other and the other and the other. So then you start creating this 3-dimensional effect. You will see very shortly how it starts taking shape. So at this stage, I would recommend you to start doing it. If you need to pause the video at any time, you can do it, or you can start drawing with me at the same time. One thing to be mindful of is that for the purpose of showcasing the process of making these particular patterns in this video, some of the shots have been sped up. So ideally, what you would like to do is just take your time to draw each one of the lines and just draw them slowly. Don't try to go super fast trying to get out of the task. Instead, try to be very mindful, very focused on what you're doing, and try to let your mind rest into the present moment. Often I find my mind drifting away to some thoughts of the things I haven't done or what I need to do, and I forget to be in the present moment. If you're anything like me, this might happen to you too. Even throughout this process of trying to draw mindfully, sometimes you might start thinking, oh, I need to go and pick up the kids in 2 hours time, or what are we gonna be eating for dinner, or oh, I forgot to do or finish something at work, and your mind starts spiraling into thought after thought after thought. The idea is that you're able to catch those thoughts, let them go, and come back to the present moment, into the pattern that you're creating. When you're drawing these patterns, your mind might try to tell you that you're doing it wrong, that it's not perfect, that your lines are not even, that your hand is wobbly, shaky, or anything like that. Just disregard those thoughts, observe them, but don't believe in them. In that case, try to change your mindset into thoughts that might be more positive for you. Like, hey, I'm trying this for the first time. Be gentle with yourself. You're showing up for yourself today if you're doing this practice. So, congratulate yourself. While drawing the second pattern that you might have noticed that it's all about waves, don't feel the need to do exactly the same of what I'm doing, but just follow the concept and do what you think is right. Use your intuition to guide your hand. Feel free to turn around your page or your sketchbook, however you feel is more comfortable for you to do the drawing. There's no purpose on trying to do things in a manner that might be uncomfortable for you. So just work with yourself, be gentle. See how none of my lines are perfect? So this is just a reminder for you if you are going into that perfectionist mode, as I tend to do myself. There's a reminder that we don't need it to be perfect. The whole point of it is just to enjoy the moment and stay present. And we're finishing off our second pattern, the wavy one. And I hope that you've enjoyed the process so far as much as I have. Let's jump into the third pattern. The third pattern starts with a horizontal line in the middle of the square and 2 dots. From each one of the dots, we're gonna be drawing straight lines irradiating from the center of the dot. One dot will be irradiating lines to the upper part of the square, and the second one will be irradiating straight lines to the bottom part of it. While drawing these patterns, remember to breathe. Sometimes when we're trying to do something that requires a lot of attention, we even forget to breathe. So if that's the case at the moment, just take a second to inhale deeply and exhale. While you're observing your breathing pattern, try to see if you can pair it up with the way that you're drawing each one of the lines and see how it feels. Now we're moving to our fourth pattern. This pattern starts with a circle. You can draw the circle in any place of your preference within the square. It is up to you where to locate it. From the circle that you've drawn, you want to start drawing pairs of lines irradiating from the edge of the circle towards the inner edge of the square. Once you've done the first set of your pairs of lines, you want to create in the outer edge of the circle another circle, but this time, whenever you are making the circle, you want to skip the space in between each one of the pairs of lines. And then you continue. Do the same again. But this time, the pairs of lines are gonna be outside the original pairs of lines. The idea is that you repeat this process as many times as you want to. You could stop right now, for example, or you can continue. It's up to you. So follow your intuition and stop whenever you're ready. And remember, whenever you're drawing this Zentangle-inspired patterns, remember to breathe and remember to draw very slowly. In the video, you can see that I'm drawing quicker, but this is mainly because I've sped up the recording to make the demonstration. Now that we're reaching the end of this video, I want to thank you for being here, practicing with me, and let me know which one of the 4 patterns did you like the most. And that's it for today, friends. I hope that you have liked this video, learned something new, and if you did, I invite you to please like my video, subscribe to my channel to stay tuned with the upcoming videos, and share it with your family and friends. I am positive that everyone needs a little bit of mindfulness in their day-to-day life, and connecting with art, it means that you're connecting with your inner self, your inner child, and the creative part that usually we keep on a box. Thank you. See you next time.